all the wonderful foods in this world, the greatest chefs, and yet this girl still wants pot roast.
Here are the top 10 countries with the best food. Of course, how much you like certain foods is completely subjective, but the internet loves to rank things, so here we go.
Come on, guys, let's give them all our best food.
United States.
Have you ever had a hamburger?
Well, of course not. It's a disgusting American food.
Defining American food has been something many people have tried and failed to do. This is because American food comes from all over. Typical American foods, such as the turkey and cranberry sauce you get at Thanksgiving, were invented by Native Americans. Another example is apple pie. The apples came from Kazakhstan, and the pie crust came from England. In other words, American food reflects the United States' history as a whole. It's a mixture of thousands of countries coming together to form something.
I'm gonna do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And ultimately, that's what we love about American cuisine. Because it's a melting pot of so many different things, it's impossible to get bored with what you're eating. And there's always something for everyone, even the pickiest of eaters. That being said, just because there's plenty of variety doesn't necessarily mean that it's all good for you. Unfortunately, American cuisine is also closely associated with processed and fast foods. But one happy meal once in a while surely won't hurt. So if you ever find yourself peckish during a road trip across the U.S., why not try a cheeseburger or a chocolate chip cookie to fill your empty stomach?
We're looking for a food the average American eats.
Spain.
Gazpacho time!
Whether it's a tortilla de patatas, paella, or gazpacho, Spain has many iconic foods. The people of Spain like to take their time when eating. They'll often spread their meals out throughout the day and go for a walk between meals. To start the day right, there's breakfast, known as el desayuno, which is the smallest meal of the day and is typically light. It might include café con leche, strong coffee with hot, frothy milk, sweet rolls with jam or mild cheese, or Maria crackers dunked in hot milk. Then, of course, there are the tapas, the little meals in between meals. They are typically eaten well after breakfast, but before the mid-afternoon lunch.
More snacks, more snacks, more snacks.
They vary from region to region, as well as in between seasons, but you can be sure that tapas will help to keep your appetite at bay. The best part about tapas is that there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of varieties. From Spanish omelets to shrimp and garlic sauce, there's something for everybody. Lunch is the biggest meal of the day, and it typically includes multiple courses and wine. Of course, because of all this food, it's important to pace yourself. Spaniards believe in taking your time and enjoying your meal, which is why you can expect lunch to last at least 90 minutes. Plus, you get to nap afterward. No wonder people love Spanish cuisine so much. Greece.
Who ordered the Greek salad?
Greece is full of blue seas and beautiful architecture. But it's not just the landscape that's beautiful. Greek food has its own kind of beauty. So whether it be the glistening Kalamata olives, the charming feta cheese, the colorful salads, or the mouth-watering roast meats, all of them will please your eyes almost as much as they please your stomach. Because Greece is at the crossroads between Asia and Europe, it gets the best of both worlds. The locals get the chance to pick up techniques, spices, and ingredients from their neighbors, and the visitors get to eat their tasty food. On top of that, the Greeks have been eating well for thousands of years, which means they know a thing or two about making delicious food.
I'm Greek, right?
Wheat, olive oil, and wine. Not much has changed over the centuries, as these three ingredients are found in many Greek dishes even today. But those aren't the only things you'll find. There's also an incredible array of cheeses, oils, fruits, nuts, grains, veggies, you name it. These foods add both variety and nutrition to Greek diets. You heard that right, folks. It's healthy and tasty. And of course, we can't forget that 20% of Greece is made up of islands, and even the mainland is pretty close to the sea. That means that fish and seafood are also pretty popular. So whether it's spanakopita or gyros, Greece will always have something tasty for you.
Oh, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Thailand.
Remember the marshmallows in Thailand?
With influences from China, Malaysia, Indonesia, and a royal culinary tradition, Thai cuisine is the best of many worlds. One of the reasons Thai cuisine is so widely beloved is because of the clever combination of herbs and spices used in their recipes. Sour, sweet, salty, bitter, and spicy flavors work together to make each dish come alive, and that's why we love it so much. Thai cooking also emphasizes lightly prepared dishes with strong aromatic components, as well as a spicy edge. Historically, seafood, plants, and herbs are the basis of most meals. Large quantities of meat were mainly avoided, in part due to the Buddhist background of the country, and instead, strips of meat were flavored with herbs and spices, or meat was cooked or roasted and then shredded.
I mean, couldn't we just go vegan?
While traditional Thai cooking involved a lot of stewing, baking, or grilling, stir-frying and deep frying became more popular after many Chinese settled in Southeast Asia. To this day, pad Thai, fried noodles, and cow pad, fried rice, are considered classic Thai dishes. Thai cuisine is known for demonstrating intricacy, its attention to detail, texture, color, taste, and the use of varied ingredients, all while tasting delicious. In other words, every single part of a Thai dish has been thought through with care. It's about fitting all the elements together to create a harmonious finish, and the result is something truly wonderful. If you're ever in Thailand, do yourself a favor and pick up some Tom Yam Kung.
Great soup, Mrs. Q.
Mexico.
Buddies, are you here to take us for Mexican food? Mexican food? I'll get my jacket.
If you were ever forced to only eat one type of food for the rest of your life, it would be smart to choose Mexican cuisine. Why? Because they have a little bit of everything, so you'll never get bored. There are the classics like enchiladas, tacos, and quesadillas, but you can also find the zestiness of Greek salads, the richness of an Indian curry, and the heat of Thai food. The origins of Mexican cuisine can be traced back to 7000 BCE, when Mexico and Central America had yet to be colonized. Back then, indigenous people roamed the area and survived by hunting animals and gathering plants. One of the most common plants in the area was the wild chili pepper, which they ate frequently. 500 years later, corn was domesticated and became part of their diets, which is when tortillas and other types of corn-based bread started popping up.
Yeah, their bread's really good.
Their bread is very good.
Meat was scarce in the area, so the indigenous people had a difficult time collecting enough protein. To make up for this, they ate a lot of beans, which would be served as a side with most meals, along with corn. When the Spanish colonized Mexico, they brought many of their own ingredients, recipes, and dishes into indigenous cultures, like rice, olive oil, garlic, coriander, cinnamon, and other spices. As a result, Mexican cuisine is a blend of indigenous and Spanish cuisine. So while it is still based on beans, corn, tortillas, and chili peppers, these are now usually served with some sort of meat and cheese. If you want to get a taste for yourself, don't hesitate to stop by your local Mexican restaurant.
Mexico. We should go to Mexico.
China.
Delivering Chinese food all day can be depressing.
Because it's one of the oldest civilizations on Earth, China has had a long time to perfect every single aspect of its dishes, and you can definitely tell. By being one of the first Asian civilizations to achieve stability and regular growth, China very quickly managed to acquire a very specific taste in food that enabled its cuisine to grow and change at an incredible pace. The development of Chinese cuisine can be attributed to many different factors, including the sheer diversity of ingredients, the constant absorption of foreign cuisine via trading, or the elaborate history of traditional medicine, which saw food as the basis of good health.
Leela blackmailed us all into eating healthy organic food.
Ultimately, according to archaeologist and scholar Guangqi Chang, Chinese cuisine is marked by both variety and change. Because food is at the center of many social interactions in China, it makes sense that so much attention and care is put into it. China is full of good food, from sweet and sour pork to dim sum, and the regional dishes are so varied you'll never get through them all. That being said, no one said you couldn't try. It's hard to encapsulate the entirety of Chinese cuisine, so all we can say is you better have room for seconds.
Chinese food, vintage video games.
India.
Fart Barfunkel.
Indian food.
Indian cuisine is meant to be eaten socially, in groups, until everyone is satisfied. There's plenty of variety to be found: mild, sweet, hot and spicy, simple vegetarian dishes, or ones layered with texture and flavor. Whatever the dish, one thing you can be sure of is the fact that great care is taken in the planning and preparation of every meal. Indian cuisine dates back over 5,000 years, and while each region has its own traditions, religions, and cultures to influence its food, there is a common thread that strings them together: the distinct mixing of certain spices.
What, too spicy?
No. These spices give Indian cuisine its popular aroma. If you want something sweet, why not try kheer, a combination of basmati rice, milk, raisins, sugar, cardamom seed, and almonds. Or maybe kulfi, an Indian ice cream made by boiling reduced milk, which is then chilled and then flavored with mango juice, rose water, and sweetened with sugar. Lastly, and no one could forget, chai, a tea commonly enjoyed each morning. No matter what you order, you can know for certain that the combination of spices is going to blow you away. Plus, the fact that they can make vegetarian food taste consistently good, something other cultures have struggled with, is definitely a plus.
Meat, no meat. It's all good.
Japan.
Please, Schmoopsy, I thought you liked sushi.
Sushi! Sushi!
Japan is known for many things: anime, cat cafes, and the busy streets of Tokyo, to name a few. But one of the wonders of going to Japan is the food. While many people think they have a solid idea of what Japanese cuisine looks like, there's actually a lot more to it than what meets the eye. Japanese cuisine has been influenced by many other cultures. Take, for example, tempura. This popular dish likely originates from the Latin phrase quatuor tempora, or ember days, which was a religious fast when people couldn't eat meat, so they consumed fish.
Fresh fish! We catch them, you buy them!
No, I don't think so.
That, or it comes from the Portuguese word tempero for seasoning. Typically, the Portuguese would fry their fish in batter. Even soy sauce, a staple of Japanese food, was only introduced around a century ago by people from China. In fact, many of Japan's cultural and even culinary traditions came from China and Korea in particular. The most important of these is rice, which only arrived in Japan at the end of the Neolithic period, about 2,400 years ago, when immigrants came from the mainland. No matter what the origin, it seems as though Japanese people have a way of perfecting their cuisine. If you're ever in the mood for Japanese food, why not try some tempura to satiate your appetite?
I have an appetite for life.
France.
We French know the truth. The best food in the world is made in France.
French cuisine was developed throughout the centuries and influenced by the many surrounding cultures and countries, including Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and Belgium. Undoubtedly, France is home to some of the most popular food in the world. There are even entire 2-week vacations centered around exploring the combinations of wines and cheeses the country has to offer. But have you ever wondered what a true French meal would look like? Well, look no further. As always, the day starts with breakfast, le petit déjeuner. This is traditionally a quick meal consisting of French bread with butter and honey or jam. Of course, those aren't the only options. You can have savory breakfasts as well, such as mouillette. And sometimes the kids will even have hot chocolate along with their breakfasts.
Life is good.
After breakfast is lunch, déjeuner, which can be a 2-hour midday meal or a 1-hour lunch break. Wow, where can we sign up for that? In larger cities, many people will eat their lunch at a cafeteria, but like a lot of other places, many people choose to bring lunch from home. Lastly is dinner, which often consists of 3 courses: the appetizers, the main course, and either a cheese course or dessert. No matter what meal you're eating, you can be sure that French cooking is always going to be good. In fact, it's so good that knowledge of French cooking has contributed significantly to Western cuisine, and its methods are widely used in Western cooking schools and general culinary education. In other words, if you can cook French food, you can cook a whole lot of other stuff too.
I got skills. I got skills.
Italy.
Give me pizza, give me pasta, give me lots of cannoli.
Italy, home to pizza, ravioli, and Mario. Italian food has been captivating our taste buds for centuries, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Whether it be the zesty tomato sauce or the olive oil and garlic, all Italian food will have you seeing heaven. From the cheesy risottos to the crisp fried meats, Italian cuisine is a compendium of crowd-pleasing comfort food. Many people have welcomed it into their homes, especially novice cooks. This is our favorite part about Italian food. While it tastes delicious, there are plenty of recipes that are easy and accessible for everyone to make.
If you can do it, we can do it. It's in our blood.
Grab some noodles, olive oil, garlic, and tomatoes, and bam, you've got something tasty. So whether you like making spaghetti or lasagna, there's always a delicious Italian dish waiting to be made. If you're in the mood for Italian, why not try making spaghetti bolognese or maybe some homemade pizza? Your taste buds will thank you.
Let me thank you ahead of time.
Show us some love. Tap or click on another great video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.